Hi guys, welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about business mindset. We'll set some goals for you throughout this course, and then we'll go over the structure of the course. So first thing I wanted to talk to you is positive feedback loop. Lots of successful businesses depend on this positive feedback loop. So let's look at Airbnb as an example. Airbnb is a business that they create a great product, right? They have customers. These customers, such as Airbnb hosts and even guests, feed feedback into Airbnb, and then they make their business better and their product better, which in turn turns more customers. Then they get more feedback, the business gets better. So this is a successful Airbnb loop. This is so-called positive feedback loop. And this is a key to any success of any business, really, not only just Airbnb business, but in general. Most of the businesses operate in such a way. So this is what we want to do with our listing setup. We want to set up a great listing, attract customers, get feedback from the customers, improve our listing. That will be our positive feedback loop. Once again, we will start with the listing, which is our product. We will attract customers, get feedback from the customers, and then improve on our listing. So it's a continuous iterative process. So this is the mindset we want to have when we're setting up our listing. As we get more feedback, we need to be making further improvements to our listing, which will drive more customers, which will give us more feedback, and so on and so forth. As long as we are locked into this positive feedback loop, we are set up for a success in the long run. Next thing I wanted to mention is a great graph from a book called Atomic Habits. It's one of my favorite books. I encourage you to read this. Basically, the author discusses how if you make things 1% better every day in the long run, it adds up and it defines your success. If you make things 1% worse every day in the long run, you're going to zero and you will go out of the business. If you make each part of the Airbnb listing 1% better, it adds up in the end. So this is the goal for this course, to make your photo taking process better by 1%, to make each section of your Airbnb listing on your Airbnb website 1% better, to make your automated messages 1% better, to make your pricing strategy 1% better. If you make each piece that goes into successful Airbnb listing 1% better, in the long run, it really adds up and it really will drive your revenue in the long run. So the main idea is to try your best and make sure you do your best job no matter which part of the listing you're working on. So if you make improvements in any parts, it will all add up together at the end and your listing will be very successful. So next thing, we want to set some goals. So currently the goal that we've set up for this course and any student in this course is to run a 90 plus occupancy. This is what we personally aim at in our business. And then to get 90% plus 5-star reviews. This is very important to run your business at very high quality and to have a high occupancy. This is the goals that I want to set up for each and every one of you who is taking this course. This is the goal that I have for my personal business that we follow. So we'll do our best to set up our listings and design our listings in such a way to meet two of these goals. This is very difficult goals to meet in the Airbnb business, but we want to be ambitious and we want to work hard to get to these goals. Next, I want to give you a high-level overview of the course. Throughout this course, I will be setting up a real new listing and I will walk you through each step of the process. I will walk you through each and every step that I take to set up a real listing. If on your side you're setting up a real listing, I will highly encourage you to go through the full course first and then come around and start over and then set up your listing. But it's imperative to go through this course, through this entire course at least once first. Next thing, I want to talk to you about 3 main pillars of Airbnb listing. If you want to achieve your goals set in this course, you need to pay the most attention to the photos, to the pricing strategy, and to review management. Those are 3 main, absolutely core pillars of your Airbnb business and generally of your successful Airbnb listing. So The course is structured around these three pillars. So we are going to start talking about the photos. They take the longest time to take and prepare. Then we are going to talk about listing basics. So we will work on filling out the Airbnb listing on the Airbnb website. Then we are going to go back to the pricing. We are going to set up all our dynamic pricing, and I'll walk you through all the pricing strategies that has worked for us in the past that helped us run it 90% plus occupancy. And finally, we are going to talk about review management. And this is very important for our second goal, to be able to get 90% plus uh, 5-star reviews. We should really aim to have 100% 5-star reviews, but that's realistically be difficult to achieve. So here is the list of modules as of January 2023. I might change these modules as I get more feedback from this course. I forgot to mention that I want to structure this course like an Airbnb listing. So this course is like an Airbnb listing. You are the guests. I expect you guys to give me feedback so I can make this course better. I want to lock this course into a positive feedback loop. I expect you to give me honest feedback, and please tell me how I can make this course better. What will be more beneficial? What is some of the information that's missing, or what topics should I cover into more details? Any feedback from you is appreciated, and I will try my best to incorporate your feedback into future iterations of this course. We are first going to open the photos by apartment design. I'll give you tips on the apartment design. Then we are going to talk about taking the photos, and then we are going to talk about editing the photos. Even if you're hiring a professional photographers to take your photos, I will still encourage you to go through this model. You will learn a lot just going through these few videos, and you'll be able to better communicate to your professional photographer of what kind of photos they should take and what are your expectations. Then we are going to get into listing basics. So I will walk you through a listing creation process. It's a very simple process. We'll create a bare bone listing, and then we'll work on listing description versioning spreadsheet. This is a spreadsheet where I keep all the listing details, all the paragraphs, and all the write-ups that are needed to be filled in the listing. And we'll work on the spreadsheet, accumulate all the information together, and then we will work on actual listing, and we will copy and paste all the descriptions that we have created into the actual listing on Airbnb website. So we'll go into details. There's details part 2, and then we'll fill in policies and info for guests. Next, we will move into talking about pricing strategy. So first, we'll talk about pricing and availability section in your Airbnb listing. This is where we set our long-term discounts. Then we are going to talk about beyond pricing software, which is our dynamic pricing software. Then we are going to get into multi-calendar and rule sets. This is a way we manage our calendar, and we are also going to go into details talking about rule sets to give you additional tools to set up additional discounts for your guests while keeping the workflow and the pricing strategy fully dynamic. And then lastly, we are going to talk about review management. We will talk about what are different pieces that go into successful 5-star review. We're going to talk about automated messages, as this is a great tool to make sure you get 5-star reviews, and generally a great tool to make your operations much, much better and easier for you and your cleaning crew. And then lastly, we're going to talk about cleaning and maintenance. Within the additional resources, you can expect the guides and the videos about the following tools that I use to run my business successfully. We'll go into Lightroom Classic and Darktable. This is photo editing softwares that we use. We're going to talk about beyond pricing in details. I'm going to talk about Floor Planner. This is the website that I use to create floor plans and the plans for our apartments. I'll talk to you about Google Business and how we utilize Google Business within our Airbnb business. I've never seen any of the people who teach about Airbnb business talk about Google Business. This is something that I've really adopted from my entrepreneurial career or working and helping my friends with different businesses. So I will show you how I utilize Google Business to to drive traffic to our Airbnb listings. This is going to be a cool video, so you should tune in for that. Next thing, I'm going to also share with you listing details versioning spreadsheet, automated messages spreadsheet, and I'll also uh, share with you cost management spreadsheet. As you might already know, my education and background is finance, so I've built a really comprehensive cost management spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is basically a income statement and a balance sheet for our business, and really helps me understand well where our revenue is coming from, also what are our costs, and it helps me plan for the future revenues. All the projections that we make for our future years, it's also based on the information in the spreadsheet. On Airbnb, you can't really see your monthly revenue very well. You can see your payouts, but you don't see how much money did you make in April versus in May or in July or August. So this spreadsheet really allows us to see that specific information, and so we know how much money we are making each month. It's very difficult to see this on Airbnb website itself. It's practically impossible unless you use some third-party software, but I don't even know if such software exists or not. So this is pretty much all. This is a good high-level overview of the course. Finally, I will leave you with this quote: luck favors hard workers. So let's get to the work.